Okay, so I hope you've got your sequences organized somehow. To be honest, a couple of those don't I think fit. I don't think they fit nicely into any category. So perhaps you maybe had a couple that you left in a group called other. But it would be nice for you to spend some time and try to look at them and see if there's some kind of pattern there, even though they may not fit with the majority of the sequences that you have. So what I want you to do now is to prepare a table and a graph for each of the sequences listed on page 1. And in my notes here it says, please see Mr. Daisy for 10 table and 10 graph sheets. But what I decided to do instead was I think I put 4 of the tables and 4 of the graph sheets, or 3 of the graph sheets in each of your packets. So as a table group, you have enough tables and graphs to complete this. So I'm not expecting that each of you have a complete set, but I am expecting as a group that you have a set together. So for example, if I was to look at the one that I was working on, I think I did this one with yeah, I did A with the 4, -4, -1, 2, and 5. So one of the things that I would like for you to do is to extend it by 3 more values. So you can see that there were 4 values given for each of them, but I want you to extend it by 3. And so this one we said I think we were adding 3 each time. So the next value would be an 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 11, 12, 13, 14. So these would be the next 3 values in the sequence. And if I write this sequence down as a table of values, there's 2 things here. There's the term number, so n is the number of the term, and then t of n is the value of the sequence for at that point. So for this particular sequence, right, we're starting at well, we're going to start at 1, and in fact, we can fill these in right away, right? It's going to be the first term, the second term, the third term, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and the eighth. So these are ordinal numbers, and we're just writing down what our term numbers are. And what I can do now is go ahead and write down the value of the sequence at each spot. So this is just kind of copying from the list, right? The first term was -4. The next term was -1. The next one would be 2, and then 5, and then 8, and then 11, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I even extended it to an eighth term. Um, so those are the term values. And what I want you to do then, in addition to extending it, and probably you don't need to extend up there, you can just do it on this sheet. Let's label this. This was sequence A, and then over here, this graph would be for sequence A also. And this graph is going to start out. Notice that there's just term numbers along here in the bottom, and the first term was -4. And this term after that was, I think, -1, and then the second term was, I believe it was 2, and then the term after that went to 5. So the third term is the number 5, and the fourth term was the number 8, and the fifth term was the number 11, and then finally the sixth term was 14. And I could even include the seventh term and go all the way up to 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So when you look at this, right, it's clearly linear, but because we're speaking of terms, right, first term, second term, third term, fourth term, the domain here is restricted to just the integers. So we're just looking at these ordinal values, and I'm not going to draw a line that goes through them because we're just talking about term numbers and their values. So I think go ahead and do that for each of the terms and make sure that you have a complete set in your table group for all the terms, and then also make sure that all of them are, in a group, or maybe in a group that's different. So we're looking at similarities and differences between these.